Do you still light mosquito coils at home? Or do you have other ways to keep mosquitoes away? With the advancement of technology, various mosquito repellent products have appeared on the market, but the mainstream choices are still mosquito coils and electric repellents. So how exactly did mosquito coils come about, and are they harmful to our health? After watching this video, you will understand everything. In the early days, before these repellent products existed, people mainly used smoke to drive away mosquitoes. They often burned plants, mugwort, or even cow dung to produce smoke, in order to repel insects. In ancient Chinese texts, there are records of burning mugwort to repel mosquitoes. In addition, there was also the method of applying plant extracts. For example, the juice of citronella grass, mint, or mugwort was applied to the skin to reduce mosquito bites. There was also a purely physical method of repelling mosquitoes: the mosquito net. The earliest form of mosquito nets appeared in China during the Warring States period, and in the Eastern Han Dynasty, silk mosquito nets were used. The real mosquito coil originated in Japan at the end of the 19th century. A businessman discovered that powder from chrysanthemum flowers contained natural insecticidal ingredients. At first, they were made into straight sticks of repellent incense, but later people found that such incense burned too quickly. After improvements, the spiral-shaped mosquito coil we see today was invented, and it gradually spread from Asia to the rest of the world. Traditional mosquito coils used natural pyrethrum, which could paralyze the nervous system of mosquitoes. But pyrethrum had low yield and high cost, so modern mosquito coils mostly begin using synthetic pyrethroids instead. These compounds act quickly, have higher stability, and lower costs, and they have now completely replaced natural pyrethrum. Besides the active ingredient, mosquito coils also need a base to keep burning. Commonly, wood powder, sawdust, and carbon powder are used. These materials make sure the coil burns evenly, and also hold the active ingredients in place. To bind the powders together, starch or clay-based binders are added. In addition, fragrances and additives are mixed in. Otherwise, the coil would smell pungent and unpleasant when burned. After mixing all the ingredients, the next step is pressing them into shape. At first, the material is kneaded like dough, with water added to fuse the powders together. Then it is pressed into sheet-like form, so the density is uniform, and the coil burns evenly without speeding up or slowing down. The pressed sheets are then sent into mosquito coil molds. The molds cut and press them into spiral shapes. Each one splits into two, becoming the familiar double ring coil. Any leftover material is recycled and reused. The shaped coils are then inspected, and any broken or cracked ones are removed from production. Freshly molded coils contain a lot of moisture and are fragile. They need to be placed in a drying room for low-temperature drying. Some factories use natural air drying instead. This step takes about 1 to 2 days. Once the moisture fully evaporates, the coils harden and hold their shape. After drying, the coils go through quality inspection again. Those with cracks or damage are discarded. The qualified coils are packed into boxes, together with a small metal stand for lighting, then sealed and shipped out. And just like that, the mosquito coil you burn in summer was manufactured from nothing more than wood powder and chemical ingredients. When lit, the chemicals inside disrupt the mosquito's nervous system, causing excitement, paralysis, and eventually loss of movement or death. The benefit of mosquito coils is that they are effective. They can quickly reduce the number of mosquitoes indoors, and they are cheap. One coil can burn for 6 to 8 hours. That is why mosquito coils have become the most common choice. But they also come with risks and potential harm. When burning, they release fine particles like PM 2.5. If inhaled, these can irritate the respiratory tract and bronchi. Pyrethroids themselves are toxic to humans, although their toxicity is relatively low. Sensitive groups such as children, pregnant women, and asthma patients may experience discomfort. Moreover, some low-quality mosquito coils release formaldehyde, carbon monoxide, and benzene compounds when burning. Suppose you use mosquito coils every day for a summer of 90 days. The indoor PM 2.5 concentration could briefly rise to several hundred micrograms per cubic meter, which is close to or even exceeds heavy urban pollution levels. The World Health Organization has pointed out that burning one mosquito coil can release particles equivalent to dozens of cigarettes. So if you must use mosquito coils, always remember to keep the room ventilated. But sensitive groups should avoid long-term exposure. Some may say, then I'll just use electric liquid repellents. But in fact, the concentration of pyrethroids in electric repellents is even higher. Traditional coils contain about 0.204. Electric mosquito liquids contain about 0.623. For such a small insect, people around the world have developed hundreds of repellent methods. Most of them involve chemical ingredients. So what should we do? Are we forced to use them? Of course not. And you don't need to feel anxious. If you want the healthiest and most reliable repellent method, there is still the oldest physical option, the mosquito net. It carries no hidden health risks and still protects you from mosquito bites. This way, you don't need to treat chemical repellents as daily necessities. So, what kind of mosquito repellent does your family use? That's all for today. Subscribe to me and discover more about the science of how everyday things are made.